Welcome to 360 Sports. I'll be your host, Grace, alongside Emily, Dagan, and Justino, and today we're going to be talking about all things hockey. So let's get right in on some headlines. So the NHL season officially started last night, and there's a lot to discuss. The Panthers began their second straight title defense, defeating the Blackhawks with a third-period goal from Jesper Boquist. Does Florida have another cup run in them, and where do we see Chicago going this year?
I mean, I think Chicago is going to be right where they were last year in the basement. I mean, listen, that first period, they were awful. I mean, their defense was absolutely trash. They were just getting run out of the building in the first period. They were able to step it back up in the second and third period. But overall, I mean, Florida, the defending Stanley Cup champions, going against Connor Bedard by himself, essentially, on the Blackhawks. Like, it's just Connor Bedard and, they have a couple young pieces. Frank Nazar is one of them, but they still have to get better defensively.
Yeah, I would say I honestly disagree a little bit. I think the Blackhawks looked really good honestly, overall, I think they looked good. For Blackhawks standards, I think they looked decent. Yeah. I think the Panthers, they really struggled when they first came out, but overall, I think they're going to take their place like they did last year. They're going to be a top team. But the Blackhawks, like you said, really only have Connor Bedard. And then don't sleep on Frank Nazar. I was a big fan of his when he was in college. He's a fun player to watch. I mean, he opened up the season with the first goal. So, I'm excited to see the two of them play, but they're still so young. There's so much time for them to continue developing.
Yeah, I agree. I just think with Barkov out for Florida, it's going to be a massive issue this season, especially considering the nature of his injury since he tore his ACL and I think MCL. Yeah. Even if he does make it back in time for playoffs, with that type of injury we saw with Landeskog, you never know if he's going to be 100%. So I think that it's going to be a little bit of a difficult regular season for the Panthers, and Kachuk's out too until December. So I don't know how that's going to go for them. But Chicago, I think the same as you. I think they're going to be towards the bottom of the league. I don't see really any bright spots on that team. Bedard has nothing. He has no one around him. Yeah. They don't have any depth. And Spencer Knight looks pretty good. That's all I can say.
I mean, the Panthers, they're really resilient. I mean, talk about a team that battles through injuries. Like, they were hurt last year, too. Like, we forget about that. They were hurt, and then they got healthy in the playoffs, and then they went on a run. Like, they have a team that – and they have Brad Marchand, the Rat, who came over there. And I mean, that is true. I hated Brad Marchand when he was in Boston, but right now in Florida, I mean, it's party Brad down there.
I just think he's Barkov, he's such an important piece of the team. He runs the power play. He can play on the penalty kill too. He's going to be a massive loss for them this year.
I definitely agree with the points of being Barkov's out, Kachuk's out till December is when he's expected, but they said that's subject to change. So they are missing their key players, but again, they do have Marchand, they have Reinhart, they have Bennett. They just re-signed some of those guys. While, yes, they may struggle, like you said, they're a very resilient team. And I think they might struggle a little bit in the beginning, but if last night showed us anything, it's that they're willing to still fight for it against Chicago.
They're one of those teams that they make the playoffs, you have a problem. If they're going to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
But as of right now, it's I'm not worried about playing them in the early stages of the season. As you go later on is when you get concerned about
especially with Bobrovsky.
Sergei Bobrovsky's a stud.
He
found his home in Florida. He found his home.
For sure.
Probably be there forever. Okay, so moving on. The Penguins took the first game of their new season 3-0, defeating the New York Rangers in Coach Mike Sullivan's Rangers debut. What does the future look like for both of these teams?
Well, the Penguins need to tank for Gavin McKenna. So this is not – I mean, it's good that they got the win. Silov's the Latvian wall goaltender. That's the nickname that everyone's been giving him. He was outstanding last night. He played one of the best games for a Penguins goaltender I've seen in quite a while. Yeah. I mean, he was just outstanding start to finish. Justin Brazeau, new guy this season, had 2 goals. Malkin had 2 assists. So, I mean, a lot to like about the Penguins. But the Rangers, I mean, whenever you lose at home to the team you formerly coached, Dan Muse was a Rangers assistant, Mike Sullivan, now the Rangers coach, they flip sides. So that's pretty embarrassing for Mike Sullivan, if I'm to be honest.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier too. I think the Penguins are going to rank where they ranked last year. They have an old team. Compared to, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they were the oldest average team in the league, and I wouldn't be surprised if that stays true to this day. They just have a lot of old players, and I know they have rookies Ben Kindle and Harrison Brunick, but I don't think that they're too young to make such a big difference for a team. I think the Penguins, like the Blackhawks, are in their rebuilding period, and it's going to take a few years for them to get good again, like they were in the early 2000s.
I mean, I love what Kyle Dubas has been doing, though.
Mhm.
You're a
Yeah.
Devils fan, Ryan Graves. That was absolutely terrible for us the last couple of years. He got rid of him. Awesome move by Kyle Dubas. And Brunicky and Ben Kindle playing their first games, they were awesome, but I mean, they're probably going to be sent down soon. I mean, it's kind of one of those rules where they don't have to play all their games. They can come up for like 8 games and come back down.
Yeah, they did that with Rutger McGroarty last
Yeah, they
year,
did that.
too.
Yeah, they did that with him. So
I just feel like the Penguins have to do a little bit more. Like they're not yet doing enough to say they're rebuilding.
Mhm.
I feel like maybe in a couple of years.
Yeah, the Penguins are they're retooling, so to
Yes.
speak. Like they brought in Erik Karlsson to try and keep fans in the stands, which like works to a point until you realize Erik Karlsson's like the worst defender you've ever seen play hockey. Like actually the worst defender you've ever seen play hockey. Him and Chris Letang are the worst. They just paired together, they're terrible. But yeah, they have a good core. But yeah, they need to get Gavin McKenna, plain and simple.
I think they also just kind of value like holding on to their original players like Crosby and Malkin and Letang, and that's why we kind of see that they have an aging roster. But I actually really liked watching them play. I liked seeing Seelovs in net. I think he's a great goaltender. I mean, he won the AHL MVP last year. I think it might be a little better for the Penguins this year than the last few years.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, as long as Jory doesn't get in net, that's
that
like
is
important.
true.
But I mean, the Rangers, their outlook. I mean, we all don't like the Rangers, but the Rangers are one of those teams where if they can get hot offensively, they'll be good. It's just a simple fact of they have a new coach, they have to kind of gel.
I really don't get how you lose a game 3-0 at home. At Madison Square Garden, nonetheless.
That's not good.
They lost a few key players over the last year, and I just think that they were really good the last few years, and I think that we are going to see the decline of the Rangers. Like I just think they're just losing players, and like we were talking about Panarin earlier, like they're probably going to lose him after this season. So it's going to be a struggle for them, like the other teams we've mentioned so far. But
it's just been a fall off for a lot of their top players.
Really
because Zibanejad has had a fall from grace. They've had a lot of guys just fall off completely. Adam Fox is still great. He's still a great defenseman, but I mean, they have the pieces that have just been there. They just haven't been able to stay consistent. They've been there for a while. So
I just feel like trading their captain was what sent them on that decline. Like trading Jacob Trouba. Sort of.
And that was in the middle of the season, wasn't it?
Rough.
Like I feel like if you want to do it in the off season and then rebuild a team chemistry, but just like trading away your captain in the middle of the season is a very bold move and kind of like ruin the rest of their season.
When he had a no trade clause and didn't want to be moved.
I think that was an issue, I guess, but I also think that it was kind of a smart move by the Rangers to get rid of Trouba. Because I believe that he was taking way too many penalties and getting way too many suspensions. And the hits to the head were getting a bit much.
100%. I just think that it's the foundation of the team that's sort of declining.
And I guess that's also evident, too, with all of their penalties when they sent Matt Rempe down. Like, I'm a big Matt Rempe hater, but, like, he's an aggressive player, which can be good, but I think sometimes he takes it to an extreme level, which ends up hurting the Rangers.
Yes,
so
that's their biggest problem. Okay, let's move on to talk about some contracts. So the NHL contract market has heated up in recent weeks. Connor McDavid, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, and Kirill Kaprizov have all signed new deals. What do we think that these contracts mean, and who else do we think is getting an extension?
I just mean Connor McDavid's contract's awesome. You know what I mean? Just a signed team-friendly deal, 2 years, $25 million, because he knows that the window is 2 to 3 years. Like he has to win a Stanley Cup. Like this is the team. This is the place he wants to be. He takes that Crosby approach where he doesn't want to sign for too much money, and he kind of runs with it. So I think that's great for Connor McDavid. Great for the Oilers in general to get him signed for that cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the long run, it's actually a smarter decision for McDavid himself also because the cap is only going up. So he's going to get paid even more after those 2 years. And it's going to be better for him as a player in the long run.
Yeah. I might take a little hot take on the Connor McDavid contract. I do agree with you in the sense that, like, I think he's helping his team because now they're giving them more room to get players that can play around at the same level as McDavid. But at the same time, in my opinion, like looking at this contract, that's a big like red flag to me. Like a 2-year contract, not many like players sign a regular 2-year contract, especially after they've been in the league so long.
That's
like
fair.
I think he's saying if I don't win a cup in 2 years and the team is still not looking any better, like I don't want to stay.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he doesn't want to tie himself down to this Oilers team if he's not going to win, because he said it multiple times. Like winning is his end goal, which I mean for most hockey players it is. So I don't know if I love it, just like the 2-year aspect, but the money part, like I do like that.
I think the most shocking thing to me, like money-wise, was the fact that Kirill Kaprizov signed that huge deal right before, and it's significantly more than McDavid, even though McDavid's like the GOAT.
I mean, Kaprizov, he's a young superstar. I think the Wild like know that they have a superstar in him, and they want to keep him locked up long term. There's like no doubt that he's going to be a superstar player the rest of his career. Like he's just showing
100%.
off the chart numbers every single year, but. He's been really good. The other guy on that board over there, Kyle Connor. The Winnipeg Jets are interesting this year. Again, they number 1 seed last year in the Western Conference, and get bounced in the second round. Not a good look for them. But Connor Hellebuck's a great netminder. Yeah. I think Connor Hellebuck, if he needs to just figure out what to do in the playoffs. Like he's a great netminder, but in 100%. General, just playoffs is
playoffs are his downfall. Unfortunately.
And with Kaprizov, my only concern from him, like it's great to see that hockey players are finally getting paid more. I mean, I know it's like they're already getting paid millions, like they're making more than any of us ever would, but like it's great to see representation in hockey where like you tell somebody about who doesn't really know hockey, like what their contracts are, and they're like, whoa, that's the high. Like it's compared to other sports, they don't get paid a lot. The only thing with Kaprizov is that if he doesn't live up to the expectations, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, he signed this big contract and like he's not living up to the hype. Like what is all of this about, especially when McDavid signed way less than him.
And the Wild have had some issues with that type of thing happening in the past with Zach Parise. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was a whole issue for them. But I think if Kaprizov can stay healthy this year, he could easily win a Hart or Rocket Richard. He's an amazing player.
He's a very talented player. And then Eichel signed before the show.
Eichel.
What do you think about that?
I'm excited for him. I know we were talking about it earlier. I'm a fan of his. I actually really like him, and I think this was a good move overall.
It was.
It didn't make sense to not re-sign him.
Yeah, the Vegas Knights are looking a little scary right now.
Jack Eichel's a tremendous player.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. After opening night, we get a bit more clarity on how teams are going to play this year. Let's go to the board and give our early picks for Coach of the Year.
Okay, so I don't think it's going to be any surprise about who I think might win Coach of the Year. It might be a little expected with how his team has been performing, but I'm going to go with Coach of the Year in Paul Maurice. He is the head coach of the Florida Panthers, and he has led the Panthers to back-to-back Stanley Cup wins the last 2 years, and he's looking for his 3rd consecutive one this year. If he wins for the 3rd year in a row, he will be the 4th team in NHL history to ever win a three-peat, and the 1st since the 1982-83 season when the New York Islanders did, which in my opinion puts Paul Maurice way overdue for his Coach of the Year award. We also see that he's been a coach in the league for a very long time. He has the 2nd longest coaching career with 28 seasons, right behind legend Scotty Bowman, who coached for 30 years. Now, we don't just see like his coaching like in longevity, we also see it in his pep talks, his motivational speeches to get his team back in the game even when they're down by multiple goals. And I think that that's part of what makes him such a great coach. It's hard. I've never seen anybody say anything truly terrible about him, and I really think he just deserves this Coach of the Year award. He knows when to make line changes. He knows when players are not connecting with each other. And that's really what sets him apart from other coaches and really helps his team get back in the game. And if the Panthers perform like they did the last 2 years this year, he for sure has a shot of winning the Jack Adams Coach of the Year award.
I completely agree. I think he's such a great coach. And he's not talked about the way he should be talked about.
He doesn't win all the awards he's supposed to. He's just, he's a great head coach. Obviously doesn't win the awards just because it's kind of repetitive. A lot of voters don't want to give the award to the same guy, but the picture right here, not very flattering of him. His eyes are closed. His eyes are closed, and then 2 players on the bench's eyes are closed. So that's I noticed that right when the picture went up there. So, but yeah, Paul Maurice is a great coach. It's a good pick.
I really love him.
Yeah.
Like it's just really the way he speaks to his players that I think I can respect. Like you see in other coaches, like they get a little aggressive, which is fine, like when your team is really down. But I think the way he holds himself, he's a very humble guy. He's just a very down to earth person that I kind of like.
Yeah.
I can't stand his team, but
Yes. Yeah.
his coach, he's a great coach.
He's a great coach who has his team playing well. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
All right, I'll go up with my pick. My pick's not going to be a Penguins coach or a Rangers coach or any coach that I have been a fan of my last couple of years. It's going to be Adam Foote, the head coach for the Vancouver Canucks. And, he's a new head coach, two-time Cup winner when he was a player in the NHL. But whenever they give out these awards, normally it goes to a coach that is on a team for a first year head coach on a team that struggled the year before. The Vancouver Canucks talked about a team that struggled last year. They missed the playoffs with such a talented lineup. Quinn Hughes being one of the best defensemen in all the league offensively. They came up short. And Adam Foote is a tremendous head coach. I think that he could easily win this award. There's a couple other first-year coaches in the league that could win this award, but Adam Foote is on a team that can really exceed their expectations, and I think that puts him in prime position to go out and win this award. He's new to the job. So, I mean, obviously you never know, but I think this Vancouver team could be sneaky in the Western Conference, really make a push for the playoffs, and I think that sets him up for the Coach of the Year.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah, I really do like this pick. Like, it's like you said, even though he's like a relatively new coach, like it's nice to see if he like comes out the gate swinging and is like, this is my team. Like we're gonna do good. Like I'm gonna put them far.
I have a lot of hope in the Canucks this year. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah. I fear that if the Canucks don't perform, we're going to have a similar Connor McDavid situation like with Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Because there's as a Devils fan myself, like I know there's been a lot of talk about the Hughes brothers wanting to play together. And I think there's a good chance if the Canucks don't start performing in the next few years that Quinn is going to want to leave.
Yeah, I mean, like he wants to play with his brother, so that makes sense. Like, he'd just come to the Devils and play with them. It'd be pretty easy. So, but they have to win. They have to win this year. High expectations of Vancouver.
Yeah.
All or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So for my Coach of the Year pick, I picked a coach who has actually surprisingly never won a Jack Adams Award before, which is shocking to me. I picked John Cooper of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning have struggled the last 3 years, losing in the first round 3 straight years. But I think he has the perfect opportunity to turn this team around this year. He's got a lot of great players in the lineup: Jake Gensel, Nikita Kucherov, and a netminder, Andrei Vasilevsky, who is elite. And he's won at every level. He's won in the minors. He's won professionally. He's even won in junior and internationally in the Four Nations. And to me, it's a shame that he's never won a Jack Adams Award. And I think this year is the year that he's finally going to prove to the NHL and everyone who's voting on these awards that he is worth winning this award and that this will be his year as the coach of the Lightning to finally take it home.
That's actually pretty shocking.
I like the pick. I'm surprised he's never won a Jack Adams Award before.
Me
just
too.
He's been in the league for over a decade now at this point. He's been to the finals multiple times. Kind of surprising, but I mean, losing to Florida the last couple of years really hurt them because I thought last year the Lightning were going to make a deep run. To be honest with you, I thought they were going to make a deep run.
Oh.
You were pessimistic?
I was pessimistic. I did not see that team beating the Panthers last year, especially with how great they are. And I knew they were going to go back to back. I knew the way it was going to end. But I can't believe Cooper's never won a Jack Adams.
That's actually there's a lot of good coaches in the league who have never won. If I'm correct, I don't think Paul Maurice has ever won a Jack Adams Award. Actually,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
And those are two of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah, two of the best teams. Like I don't understand where how they're choosing
the voters. I'm not a voter. I wish I was, but they probably align with younger coaches and coaches on teams that really struggle.
Yeah.
Like if Ryan Warsofsky and the Sharks have a really good year, he's going to win Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they make the playoffs or something like that, he's going to win Coach of the Year.
Like Scotty Bowman when he won twice and back to back like. In his early coaching days, they really do love to see some younger coaches.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
it's such an interesting topic.
It is.
How do they choose who's winning? I don't know. Well, I have a little different take. So my pick is gonna be Scott Arniel, who is the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. he became the head coach, I want to say May of 2024. So he had last season to sort of try to build the team up and make them get past the first round of the playoffs. And he was successful. I mean, I just watched the video back of the Jets in the last game getting that goal with like 1 second left in the period. And it was so cool. The Winnipeg Jets are such a fun team to watch. And I think that this coach has the potential to do some really great things with the team that he has. If Hellebuyck can get himself together, if the team sort of works on just the playoffs, really, I think they have a good shot at going far, and I think Scott Arniel is a big part of that.
I mean, yeah, Winnipeg, they have a really good chance this year to go deep and go to the finals. I mean, it's a shame with the goalie they have and how good he's playing that they can't show up in the playoffs, to be honest with you.
I think it's crazy. Like, they're such a good team. They're such a well put together team.
Yeah.
But it's like you watch Connor Hellebuyck in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then you watch
It's not
Connor
the same
Hellebuyck in the regular
person.
season. It's
Yeah.
what is he doing?
Yeah, and there is an added pressure of the playoffs, but at the same time, like that's when it's most important to show up.
Yeah.
And I honestly really hope the Jets go far this year because we've seen in years past where they really do just choke in the playoffs, and
Yeah.
it is sad to see.
It happens a lot.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does happen a lot.
It does.
Canada really chokes in the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's very,
yeah.
very
Good for
simple.
the United States.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
We
You
don't
can't even
mention
bring
that,
them
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on and talk about some bold takes and predictions we have for this upcoming season.
So my very, very bold take is I think that the Sharks are on the mend. I think that they're going to turn it around. I'm not saying they're going to be in the top. I'm not saying they're going to quite make the playoffs, but I think they might be on the cusp of a wild card. Like, I think that there is a chance that they can do that. Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, William Eklund, Tyler Toffoli, like, they have a group there, and I know Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini are still very young, but they have these older players like Tyler Toffoli who's become a mentor to them. And honestly, I really cannot sing Tyler Toffoli's praise enough. I love him. He is my favorite player ever. Like,
So fair.
he's really slept on. Like, he had 73 points his last year in Calgary. He had 44 with the Devils, which the Devils traded him away in like January. So like 44 through like 3/4 of the season, and then he had 55 points last year with the Sharks. Like, while he's of course no Connor McDavid, like I really think that he is a great player, and I think that the Sharks have a chance to really turn it around this year and be on the up.
He's such a strong presence in the league, and especially on the Sharks. And they just announced, I think this morning, about the captaincies. I know we were talking about that earlier, and how they're going with a bunch of alternates, and they're making him the alternate captain every game, but then Macklin Celebrini's every home game. Someone else, I think Mario Ferraro, is also every home game, and then 2 other guys for the away games.
Yeah.
And I just really don't understand why we're not making Tyler Toffoli captain. I really think that impacts a team. The fact that there's no stable leadership in their organization, I think that might hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're 2 years away, personally. I think they'll make the playoffs in 2
agree.
years.
Yes.
This upcoming draft's going to be key for them. They need another defenseman, point blank. Like, they have Orlov that they brought in, but he's on the downward spiral. They brought in Nick Leddy, who was just going to fight. Like, Nick Leddy is going to go out there. He's going to fight. He's not going to score a lot of goals, but I think the Sharks are a good team. Offensively, they're great.
Yeah.
They just have, they're young. You know what I mean? Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini are young. They're coming in, to their younger seasons. Celebrini coming into his second year. I think they're going to be good, but I think it'll take a couple years.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe in like 5 or 6 years, the Sharks could be like a legit cup contender or playoff team. But as of right now, I think they're still going to be in the same area.
That's what I'm
as
saying,
they
like
were.
middle area. Like, I
Yeah.
think that there's a chance that they can fight for a wild card spot. Like, towards the end of the season, things get crazy with the wild card towards the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, they
So
do.
I think there's a chance. I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen, but that is my bold take, my hot take.
It's one of those things, if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But if they end up at the bottom of the league, I also wouldn't be surprised. Like, if they get Gavin McKenna, not going to shock me.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
My hot take, a little steaming hot take, the Blue Jackets are winning the Metro this year. Point blank. They're winning the Metro. Adam Fantilli, absolute dog animal. They have all the pieces together to win this division. Listen, the Metro is always up and down. The Capitals won it last year.
Yes.
The Hurricanes won it the year before. And again, the Capitals are on a downward spiral, in my opinion. They had a good year last year, but Ovechkin's in his last season. I don't think they're going to end up winning the division again. And, there's a lot of teams, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Flyers, they're going to be near the bottom. So there's a lot of teams that, like, the Penguins and Islanders are going to be near the bottom this year. And I think they're right on the doorstep. Dean Evanson did a great job in Minnesota. His first 4 years, he couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs, but he made it. Last year, they had 40 wins. You know what I mean? They didn't make the playoffs, but they had 40 wins. They're a good team. And 9 guys last year had double-digit goals for the Columbus Blue Jackets, including Zach Werenski, who's one of the top defensemen in the league.
Yeah,
100%.
I really I agree with this. Honestly, like you were saying, the Met is so up and down, and right now it's down. Like all of the teams in the Met are really struggling right now. The Rangers, we already talked about, are struggling. The Flyers, they're a mess. Like the Islanders, even the Devils, it's hard for me to say, but they are struggling. Like their players are just constantly hurt, and the Blue Jackets kind of came out of nowhere last year too, towards the postseason. And I agree. I think there's going to be a real competition in the Met this year, just because the teams are all a little bit struggling, and the Blue Jackets right now are kind of in the best position.
I actually agree with that. I think all of the Metro teams. I mean, I think the Devils could make.
That's the thing. Like,
run.
there's so many teams. There's not a certain team that's going to win that division. There really isn't a certain team. That's what makes it very interesting. I've been to Nationwide Arena too. It's a great arena.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. But I think, with no set in stone team, you know what I mean? Every year it kind of differs. Like, it's not like the Panthers who are going to or Lightning. Like, those are like the top teams in the Atlantic. Right now, you don't know who the top team is in the Metro, and that's what makes it fun.
The Metro hasn't had a consistent number one team in so long.
Yeah, it's been
the Rangers dominated for 2-3 years, but it wasn't consistent enough to be like the Rangers are going to do it. The Rangers are going to do it.
Even the years the Penguins, they never won the division. When they won, the Capitals were just always a step ahead of them. They never won the division.
The Capitals always won that division.
Yeah, they did. They
won
it every year.
Yeah. President's Trophy curse.
I was just going to say that.
So my hot take, based off of everything you guys have said, I don't think you are going to agree with. But I said Connor Hellebuck is overrated. I think he's completely overrated. I don't think he deserved the Vezina last year, or the Hart. Should have been Kucherov. But he doesn't make the big saves. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. He gets pulled in the playoffs. And I think at the end of the day, that doesn't define a great goalie. We see Shesterkin, Bob, Vassy, all those guys, they go into the playoffs. They can carry their team to the Stanley Cup final. I don't think Connor Hellebuck can do that. And I think that's what distinguishes a good goalie from a great goalie.
See, when you bring up the playoffs, that I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
In general, Connor Hellebuck is the best goalie right now in the NHL. There's no doubt about it. Like Bobrovsky,
statistically wise in the regular season,
yes, he is. I mean, playoff wise, he sucks. I mean, that's his point. I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years. But in terms of his actual play, Connor Hellebuck's just a creature of habit. He's unbelievable. He's off the charts. But he has to step it up in the playoffs.
Well, I think part of the issue is he doesn't have the athleticism that a lot of the Russian goaltenders have.
That's true.
And he's a little bit stiff in net, and in the playoffs it's very chaotic, and it's hard to rely on just your size to stop the puck. It's more of calculated. I don't know.
The Jets rely so much on him during the regular season that when it comes to the playoffs, they choke, in part because of him, because he's not on his A game, and also because they don't have that key player that they bounce off.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Connor was good last year, but they don't like you said, Kyle Connor's been up and down. They need that consistent offensive player. Defensively, they've been okay, but they need a consistent offensive player.
Yeah. Okay, so my bold take is my team specific for the Islanders. I think that Matt Barzal is gonna have a 100-point season. Now, you gotta hear me out on this one. I saw someone make this take before, and I was going back and forth between it, but he is probably of the healthiest he's been in a really long time. So I just am excited to watch him play this year, and I really have a lot of hope that he will get to a point where he could be a leader in the league. He won the Calder in 2017, 2018, that season, and he had 85 points, and he hasn't hit that mark again.
Yeah.
And I think the team's at a place where he very much could.
Matthew Barzal, the one thing holding him back is the hospital, unfortunately.
Yes.
He is going to be hurt again, and that's the problem. If he's hurt every year, 100 points is just not sustainable. He's a great player. He's a star player, but injuries have sadly taken his career away, in my opinion, fully.
I completely agree. It goes to say for a lot of players, Jack Hughes has the same exact problem. Both of Matt Barzal and Jack Hughes have the potential to make it a 100-point season. The injuries are what stop them.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, let's quickly go over our picks for who's going to win the games tonight. We have the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs. I'm gonna go with the Canadians. I'm gonna go a little hot take, but
I'm gonna take the Leafs. I like it. They still have Nylander, Nyes, Matthews, despite not having what's his face, Mitch Marner.
Mitch
But
Marner,
I
yeah.
still like the Leafs. on this
Maple
one.
Leafs are at home, so I mean
Yeah.
that's just
I
they're
like
at home. I like them to start the year.
I picked the Canadians.
Yeah.
I want them to go and spoil the Leafs
Yeah.
home opener.
Yeah, I think I
That's
want
true.
them to win personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruins Capitals. I'm gonna go with Capitals just because Bruins are kind of iffy right now.
I'm gonna agree. They lost a lot of key players. I think they're starting to be on the rocks, so
Yes.
I'm gonna take the Caps here
The
too.
Penguins won last night over the Rangers. No one expected it. Bruins win this one. I mean, honestly, like it's one of those games. Bruins win on the road.
Yeah.
It's the
Given that
beginning of
the
the season.
Bruins
Yeah.
are basically an AHL team,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
go with the Capitals.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have the Flames and the Oilers. I feel like the Oilers. I don't know, Dustin Wolf, pretty good, but Oilers are probably gonna take it.
I'm gonna take Oilers. If the Oilers don't win, I think McDavid might lose his mind.
Yeah,
and
probably.
He's gonna be loving that 2-year contract.
Yeah, McDavid hat-trick tonight, in my opinion. I think he gets the win. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got something to prove. When you have something to prove, that's
Yeah.
you don't want to be in front of that train.
Battle of Alberta at home, so I'm gonna have to say the Oilers.
Yeah.
I don't think they can lose in front of their
Yeah,
fans.
that would be rough after their contract they just signed. And then last we have the Kings and the Golden Knights. I feel like I gotta go Golden Knights, especially because Eichel just signed that contract. A lot running for them this year.
I'm also gonna go with the Knights. The Kings just lost last night.
Yeah.
They have a very hard start to their season when
Yeah, they
they're
do.
playing a back-to-back game. So I think they don't have momentum from last game. So I'm also gonna take the Knights.
I'm taking the Kings in this one. I went back and forth on it, but they lost last night back to back. They're on the road. I think Kempe's a really good player.
Yes.
I think he's a
Yes.
superstar type player. I
Yes.
think he gets a couple of goals and they get back in the win column.
Yeah, I'm taking the Golden Knights, considering that the Kings are coming off a back-to-back. So I think it's gonna be the Golden Knights tonight.
Okay, well that is all the time we have left. So thanks for watching 360 Sports Hockey Edition, and tune in tomorrow for some baseball.